Okay, welcome to another howtopam LibreCad tutorial. We're going to look at, we already looked at creating a title block. And we can actually save that as a block or as a drawing template. So first, we're going to save as a template and then show you how to turn it into a block. Okay, so this is the drawing that we created for an A3 paper. Let's just have a look here at the current drawing. And paper A4. Okay, so we created this for an A3 paper. If we're not sure, we could measure that and make sure it's 420 long. Let's just have a look here. Let's take our measured distance from point to point. And let's snap on entity here. Okay. And let's hold the horizontal. Vertical. Okay, let's snap here and let's go right across here, snap there, and let's look down in the command line here. Okay, and we see that we have 410 between our borders because we have a 5 mil perimeter from the edge of the paper in, so it's a 420. So this is an A3 paper. Let's right click to get rid of the dimensions. Okay, you see our center here ready to take off. Let's put that back. We can actually go here. It says set relative 0 position. Let's go down and put it right there where it belongs in 0, 0. Okay, now we have this drawing for an A3 paper, and we could use it as a template if we chose to do so. Now, we have saved that. We actually saved our drawing in a personal user folder. Okay, and it is actually it is saved as a drawing exchange DFX, okay, 2007 file, and we can actually instead of putting it in our user file, we could actually put it in the system library. You see there are libraries, and here's templates here in the library, and there's one empty template right there. Okay, so we could put ours there, but in order to put it there, we would have to move it as with root privileges, with administrative privileges, down into that folder. Okay, and that folder would be, if we just minimize this a little bit, if we went down in here to the root files and to user and to share and to LibreCad, okay, right there, and there is the library that we're looking at, and here are the templates, and there's the empty one that we were looking at right here. Okay, so we would have to, with administrative privileges, save our drawing right into this folder of templates, and then it will show up here, and you could call it up if you chose to do so. Okay, right from the library there. So that's not a big deal. You can put that in there if you chose to do so, and if we if we just save it in our personal user folders, okay, we could save as, and we could write a title of A3 template. Okay, and we could save it into our personal folder, and it's A3 paper size, and we save it right there. Next time we opened up a drawing, we could go in there if we opened a new drawing, and we could see our A3 template, and we could open that up and work on it. Now, that's fine for an A3. What if we wanted an A4? Okay. So if we wanted an A4, we could scale this down and save it as an A4. What we'd have to do is find out the size of an A4 and what percentage it is. So we could do that if we took our calculator and we said that an A4 paper is 287 millimeters long, and if we divided that by an A3 paper, which is 410 millimeters long, we would have 0.7. Okay, so an A3 is 0.7 the size of an A4. That's the one dimension. The other dimension is an A4 is 210 tall, and if we divided that by an A3 at 287 tall, and we equals 0.73. Okay, so basically an A3 paper in both dimensions, an A4 paper in both dimensions is 0.7 the size of an A3. So if we want that, we can scale that. Okay, so let's go and select everything here. There we go. We've selected the whole drawing, and let's go to modify. Let's go to scale. Okay, and it says to specify a reference point down here at the command line, so we're going to make the reference point 0. Okay, and we're going to scale that in both directions. We're going to scale it this way. It was 0.7 in the X, and the Y was 0.73. Okay, so let's go ahead and scale that. Okay, there we go. Now we have a paper that is A3 size. Okay, so we can just measure that. Okay, let's take the measurement, a distance, and let's go here and let's set the horizontal, and there, and let's see what it says here. It's 287 long. Okay, let's set the vertical. Let's try to measure the vertical. Let's put 0 back. Okay, let's measure the distance of the height. Okay, and let's have a look at that. And we're 209.13. That's awful close to 210, right? Now, I had made an error here. I see that. Okay? So when we scale this, let's undo what I've done. Okay? And let's recalculate here. Okay? What we need to do is we need to divide 287 divided by 410 equals 0.7. Cancel. And we need we need 200. There's where I messed up. We need 200 divided by, I went too high on the height. 200 divided by 287. My mistake. And that equals 696. Okay? So basically, it's actually 0.7 on each. Okay? So my mistake. Let's scale it again. Let's select all. Okay? And let's go to scale. And let's choose a reference point. See what it says here? Choose a reference point. And we're going to choose 0. And we're going to just make that 0.7 in each direction. Okay, delete the original. And there you go. Now, this was perfect, 287. This was not the correct height. So let's measure that. Okay? Let's measure it from this point to this point, and you see we have 200.9, almost 21. So that's pretty close. Okay, so we've scaled that down. I want to move this, so let's take our 0 line. Let's put that back to where it belongs. Okay. We're going to move the drawing. Okay. So let's select to move. Specify a reference point right there, and specify the target point. We're going to write it in the keyboard in the command line and say OK. There we go. We've moved it back to 0. Okay, so now let's deselect all that, and we do now have it as an A4 size, so let's also save that as an A4 template now that we've scaled it down, and let's make it A4 template. In our personal user folder. Okay, and again, you could save it with administrative privileges. You could go and save it down in the root file system and put it into this template box, okay, in the library here. And again, to do that, we would just use your command line here and send your file down into the root, into Unix systems, share, into LibreCAD, into the library, and into templates, and you could put it right there. Okay, just have to be administrator using the sudo root command and send that file down into here. Okay, so there we go. That's a template. Now let's talk about block. Okay, here's a block list. Okay, now if we want to create a block, okay, we can have this over here, or you can see the same thing is here to create a block. Okay, so let's go with create a block. And it's telling us here to select to create a block. Okay, so let's go to select, and let's select all. Okay, select a reference point. Let's make that 0 so that we're always on 0. Name the block. Okay, let's call it A4 template. A4 title block, BLK. Okay, so we name that. Okay, there we go. You see, we've created a block here. Of our A4. Okay. Now if we look in our open, okay, let's this is our block here. Let's save that block now. We've created a block. Let's save it. Let's make sure we save that. Okay, and we're gonna name it A4 title. Okay, block in our personal drawings folder. Okay, and let's save that. Okay, now let's see what happens. Let's close this let's close this out and close that out, and let's start a new drawing, and let's import a block then. Okay, so let's go and get our block. Let's say we're going to start a drawing. Here's an import a block. Okay, and we had an A4 title block right there. Okay, Now, we want to specify a reference point on our drawing. So let's just write that in. Okay. Let's our point is going to be 0, 0. Okay. And there we go. Okay. So there's our block in there. Now, the thing about a block, let's zoom it down so we can see it. Now, if we try to select something, the whole thing is selected because it's all been put together into one piece. Okay? So let's go here and deselect. Okay? So if I wanted to edit something here, it's very difficult for me to edit this block without exploding it first. Okay? So we have a explode here option, right? So we could say explode, and it says select a block to explode. Would take that, select block to explode, enter on the keyboard. There we go. Sorry. Okay. I had to push enter on the keyboard, and now if I select one, you see one line. It's been exploded. Now what's the glory of that is, let's deselect. We've exploded that block so that we could edit. Okay. Attributes. So let's say that we now have a project name. Okay, we've loaded that block for our drawing, and now we're going to we've exploded that block so that we can fill in our personal information. So what we'll do is we'll go to properties here, and we'll choose project. Okay, there we go. And we can say my project, and perhaps you want to make it Cayenne, and maybe you want to increase the line weight. Okay, there we go. You see, now after you're done, editing that, you can save your drawing just as it is, and that will not affect the block as long as you change the title name. Okay, so when you save your drawing, you save it under a different name, not the name of the block, and it will not override that block. It won't override it. Okay? So you can edit your attributes that way. Again, we could choose title. Okay? And we could put your title. And maybe you want to have that green, and maybe you want to have maybe you want to have a different line weight, and you say okay to that. There we go. You see? So we can change the attributes that way, and once you've modified the attributes for your drawing, you would save it as a drawing and not modify the actual block. Okay, so the thing is to load your block and then explode your block and then edit your attributes and save the drawing you've done. Okay, so that's pretty much templates and blocks and editing the properties of your attributes and all that sort of thing. So in our next tutorials, we'll look at getting to draw something on this paper that we've created. Okay, so you can go ahead and save this so we don't destroy our block. I'll just have a look at that. Let's save this drawing as my new drawing. Okay, and we're going to close this drawing. Okay, and now we're going to open a new drawing and just see if our block is still there. Okay, we're going to go to File, we're going to import a block, and we have an A4 block here, and it wants a reference point. So down here in the command line, we need a reference point. So again, let's just put 0, 0. That's why we build these things off of 0. Okay, and right click, and there you go. We've got the block in again. Let's just click on it, see? Oh yes, it's still a block. It's all one. So in order to use this, we'd have to explode it. We'd have to explode it so that we could edit the attributes and then save our drawing. But our block is always there, okay? So that's a little bit about title blocks and templates, and that'll get you started. So we can close that out, and I'm not going to save anything there, and we can close that, and thank you for watching this tutorial from howtopam.